Here is your national market update. What do we have in store for the year ahead? Well, looking at where we are right now sheds great insight into what we should expect in the upcoming year. Hi, I'm Lisa Taylor with Homes by Lisa at eXp Realty. Let's be clear, my own personal prediction of the real estate housing market for 2022 is that we will continue to see an increase in prices. I believe that what we are going to see in the upcoming year is very similar to what we experienced in 2021. Prices going up and interest rates still remaining low, although I do believe we will see some increases in interest rates, but relative to historical rates, they'll still be fairly low. The lack of inventory, the high demand of buyers and low interest rates are a sure sign of the housing market continuing to increase. According to a recent report from the National Association of Realtors, growth in the housing inventory has slowed over the past decade in the aftermath of the 2008 housing crisis. This has created an underbuilding gap of 5.5 to 6.8 million housing units across the country since 2001. What else is happening in our real estate forecast for 2022? Rents and housing prices continue to increase due to the low supply and high demand. We are at a 4.2% unemployment rate, which closely matches the unemployment rate back in March 2020 before the pandemic started. And what about job creation? New jobs coming to the market has mostly continued to increase month over month since the pandemic hit, but we're still not back to normal. We're about 4 million jobs short. The non-farm payroll, which is the total number of US workers in the economy that excludes proprietors, mostly has continued to rise since the pandemic hit. This graph shows the number of payroll jobs in the US rising, but not quite back to where we were prior to the pandemic. We saw a surge of home sales since the pandemic, and 2021 saw the most number of homes sold than in the past 15 years. Median home prices have soared to all-time highs of over $400,000. The National Association of Realtors, or NAR, asked 23 real estate economists and experts about their forecast on inflation. Here's a list of experts and economists that they surveyed. The average was 4%, which by historical standards is still high, as the ideal number is 2%. Although their prediction of 4 is double the ideal rate, it's not as bad as the anticipated 6.8%. And you can see from this graph what the predictions were. The lowest being 2.7% and the highest being at 7.5%. However, the average is 4. What about home price appreciation? The average consensus from our expert panel is that home prices will rise 5.7%. Remember, last year they predicted home prices would increase by 6.8%, but the actual price increase for 2021 was 20.3%. So let's hope we see higher numbers than they anticipate. Here you see one expert on the negative end of median appreciation decreasing by 10%, and on the positive side, 2 experts predicting as high as 12% median home price increase. The panelists agree that the Federal Reserve will be raising interest rates twice this year. That's the average consensus. The average, with 11 experts predicting it, is 2 increases, but 8 experts are predicting only 1 interest rate hike. It's important to understand that from an affordability standpoint, even though the prices have gone up, your payments are going to be less today versus buying a home a year ago. This is because the interest rates are so low. So based upon all this data, with interest rates still incredibly low and needing more new homes to support buyer demand, as well as the fewer number of homes hitting the market, my guess is that the 2022 real estate market forecast is going to be hot. Pretty much a replica of what we saw in 2021. There was so much demand and lack of inventory that prices just kept creeping up. Buyers were willing to pay more for homes than what they were listed for across the board, and giving sellers pretty much anything they wanted. Sellers had all the leverage and were taking offers with little or no contingencies, and the terms of the contract mostly were in the seller's favor. In my opinion, based upon this data, this year is going to be exactly the same. So a quick recap. On a positive note, buyers want to buy, and they want to buy a lot. Rates are low and should remain low relative to historical rates. The market is incredibly attractive to sellers. Sales will stay competitive, solid, and strong this year, and home prices will keep rising. The bad news and what is dampening our housing market is that we still aren't building enough homes, and there are still more buyers than homes. Obviously, the pandemic has created challenges for all of us. I hope you found this helpful. If you're looking for more real estate market updates, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Living in West Palm Beach. Again, I'm Lisa Taylor with Homes by Lisa at eXp Realty. For your home, tailor-made.